Hello, it's Amanda here and welcome to today's art journal. So you would have seen this last week and I have been working in it and I've created quite a mess with, oh sorry, my dog's decided to sit right under my desk so that I can't draw my chair forward. Anyway, so made a little bit of a mess up there with the ink, but we are going to keep going. As you do in your studio space. It's like you don't want to waste anything, but it's just like it's going to get everywhere if you don't wipe it up. So what I've been working in it all week, just spending a few sort of like 10-15 minutes where I can, and I'll show you what I've been doing in it. And I've just literally tried to prep the pages for a time like this when I want to come back and do something. So we'll look at the three areas of journals. If you haven't seen last week's journal video, I have three areas where I can journal in. So I've created a little mini journal here. We've got one here and one here, all in the same journal. So this is almost like a catch-all. You can do all the things you would like to do in this journal. So you can have a look at last week's journal and see. I'll put a link in the description. So we'll look at the first one here. So all I've done is go in, and where I've had extra paint, I've just, let's add it to the page. Let's add something to the pages because we don't want to waste our paint. And literally just added shapes, colours, splatters, lines and decoration. Okay, and in this one I've done something similar. I've kind of probably spent a bit more time on this. So the first layer would have been just the paint, and then I had excess black ink, so we're not going to waste my ink. So let's go in and work on a page, and here what I'll be able to do is a lot of doodling, shapes, marks and such forth. Again, just adding paint on each page and just not even thinking about it's got to look like this. It's just shapes to use up the paint, because when I come back I'm going to be more mindful. I think we worked on this one, this page, and so I've gone through, and so after I'd finished this page, I had gone through, had the ink, and then just added it to the page. And some of the pages you could think, oh okay, well that, okay, I was going to say, oh well that looks kind of finished, but it depends on it's not finished. Some people might think it's finished, but like I wouldn't leave a page like this. I would want to do what this is screaming to me is black ink, jelly roll and doodling. So I pulled out this black ink and I was looking at this and I thought, let me just add some to this. So I'll show you how I would work on it. So I'm getting my pen and then I would just go round and add it just to areas that, like, I'm thinking, yeah, that really does need, it looks naked without the black ink. So I'll come back here. So one of the things I wanted just to remind you is that when you're working in this way, you're just kind of laying down. Don't worry about staying in the lines, don't worry about, because that's not for this time. This time is just literally to get some shapes down where you feel like getting shapes, and it's not about completing a page. It's just about making your mark and moving on. Yeah, I thought of maybe going on the outline, but then I thought, no, I don't want to do that. I'm going to just colour that one colour, and I don't have the colour here right now. So it is literally just going through and making the marks that you feel like making and walking away. Now you could decide to do thicker lines. You might even want to do some more patterns. And and you just keep going. So I've pretty much filled up. I didn't feel like doing that page, so that might be one that I just add some colour. I just wasn't feeling it. So let's have a look at another one. I was quite interested in this one. So what I'm feeling is where I've got this white paint there, just neatening it up because I want to do some doodling on this page. I like the red and the black. Okay, so I've practically used up all the ink. So what I then do is just rub off my brush, and then I will get this is my just used for this purpose. It's and I'm just very rough with it, and I just, as I say, just use it for this purpose. So I put some more water on the ink, and then I get some solid lines going, and this is how I then have pages like this that I can come and work on, because I've set it up with ink, and then I'm able to come back to it. Probably not very much left there. Just lines, and then I'm going to come back at another time and work on it. And if there is anything left, I take it another page and I'll just see how much I can, get off the brush, off the palette, so that nothing is wasted. So let's come back to this now. I want to work on this. I've got my jelly roll, I've got a thicker Posca pen, and we're just gonna again have fun with making marks on the page. Now if you get a chance, check out artist Shemi Dixon. She does a lot of process art on her channel, and I'll leave the link below. She's got a whole series of videos going, but and it is really just finding yourself a space that you can be creative. If you need to do something quick, then this gives you the opportunity to work on something, get the benefit of doing something creative, but it not taking if it's better to do something small than not do anything at all. You get more of a beneficial effect, even the doodling, than if you say, oh no, I'm only going to wait until I get half an hour, a couple of hours to do some art. So this ensures that you do some every day. You haven't got an excuse, because the page is set up. You set up the page for yourself, and you literally just have to, if you've only got 5 minutes, you can do some doodles. You can do some spirals until you do get the time. And this is, I'd never before thought of making a multi-signature journal, different sizes in different places. But this just kind of happened by accident, and it works for these kind of things as well as collage. If you want to do some collage in there and just have 3 different areas. For some people, if they've got just a small space, they might just you know, they might not have room for 3 separate journals. So this enables you, this way enables you to have the 3 journals and be able to do different types of work in it, but it only takes up the space of 1. So I will be doing a video of it. My patrons will get early access, so if you want to become a patron, the link is in the description. And for that you will you will receive there's over 90 videos, tutorials, digital downloads. Every month they receive digital, depending on what tier. Every month there's a digital download. If you're on the $10 tier, you get more than one, and there's so many different things that you can do with them. Add them into your creative projects. Okay, so I've done a page, and that didn't take long. Actually, I'm thinking of adding another colour. I'll see if this one works. Just on the white there. See, just some dots. Nothing. It's another Posca pen. And so it's literally just to add what I feel it needs. Sometimes you look back and you think, oh no, I should have stopped here. But it's again how you're feeling now. This is not about, you know, you're not doing it for anybody else's benefit but your own. Some of my pens have suffered. Okay, and so I think it's done. I enjoyed doing the page, and I enjoyed then also adding to the rest, but this is the one that I felt like finishing. And as you can see, it's not like, oh, actually it doesn't, nothing has to run in order. If I decided I wanted to work on these, you know, again, it's your space to create and to play. So I'm going to look in this one and see if I'm feeling anything on these pages. I was just thinking, feeling that. And that's all I need to do. I can walk away and not feel guilty that I haven't done more. And I'm feeling this. So yesterday was the opening for a exhibition at the Queen's Park Gallery called They Came on Merchant Ships. It's part of there's 3 exhibitions over the course of the next few months. And so I've got some pieces in. So some of you who may have not been to my website or who are new to this channel, I also I paint paintings, I do sculpture, I work on fabric. And yeah, if you come back on Mondays, every Monday I have a video episode called Material Mondays, where I work on my fabric projects and just share what I'm doing. But anyway, yesterday was the opening of the exhibition, and the reason why I brought it up was it's nice to do something different. So that work it was very it's very different, obviously, because it's I call it sculptural paintings and assemblage art And so they take something different from you in terms of that creative process to complete. And but it's just to encourage you that if you're feeling, I'm torn between working on this and working on that, don't be, work on them both. You just have to find the time for them both. And sometimes I want to express myself with doodles, lines and shapes, and then other times I want to express myself in clay, combining fabric or creating a painting. And I'll show you some of the work as we go along. Although this, I'm just tapping into this, so maybe I'll show you it now. So these are some of the pieces in the exhibition, and the last exhibition I was in, I did this painting, and it's kind of taken on it's neurographic art inspired, and I find that soothing as well. It's almost like doodling on the work itself. So the painting is done first, and then I work on the lines and add in the lines on the piece. But that was very therapeutic to do. And it's for you to find yourself those kind of things, because I don't know what your circumstances are. And one of the things that I used to use creativity for was to help me find some peace or just some me time when I was looking after my mother, who was living with dementia at the time. And so I could only have those small pockets of time. And just thought this was the journal. I thought I had the journal that I used to work in, but it was a catalogue similar to this. It was this is a Tesco catalogue, but it was one similar to this, and I had two colours, and I would just blank out some of the pages and use those two colours to create images. Say, like, I would keep the bed scene, and then I would create an image here by the curtain, standing by the curtain, and then blank out everything else. So that's all I had time to do, to blank out colour, add gesso to the page, and I found that very therapeutic. I wasn't able to get out my paints and my clay, and so I made it work for me with the time and the space that I had available to me. And so that's what you might have to do. You might have to work with what you've got, or you might want to encourage the person that you're caring for, if they're able to do a variation of what you're doing. And I used to get my mum to create alongside me, or if I needed to do something that wasn't creative, I'd get her to do something creative while I get on with, say, it could have been tidying up and cleaning or whatever, or I would get my journal and my gesso and my two, it was blue and red, they were the two colours I'd taken with me, and it was just, how can you just take the minimal and still spend some, a good time just being creative. So and that, amongst many other things, sort of like, getting out in the green space, in nature, going for a walk. I would take mum, came a point where she could only use a wheelchair, so I took her out. We'd walk to the park park was about 20 minutes away, but it was just like, she doesn't have to, you know, she's in the wheelchair, and then we'll just sit, have a drink, and then walk back. But it was nice for her to be able to, you know, still enjoy being out in nature. So that's all I think I wanted to do to this page. I think I will come back, and yeah, I was glad that I spent time working on this. I feel good about it. I like the contrasting colours, and am I feeling, I'm not feeling going round the blue. Yeah, I'm happy with the page, and I've got many more that I can come to and dip in. So I hope that you're able to create a space for yourself where, you know, if you've only got a small amount of space, you can create, say, a journal like this, and I will do a tutorial on this. There's various things going on, but I will make it as straightforward as possible. These are all decorations that you can do, you know, when and as and if, whenever you get the time. There's a lot of other things that are mindful activities, so the stitching, adding beads and buttons, and these are French knots. So just doing some decorative stitching on the pages. So yeah, so I'm going to leave it there for now, but I hope you've enjoyed that, and have gained some insight, and are gonna, you know, let me just do this. We're gonna get to do some in your own journals, and I'd love to see you share and connect with me on Instagram at Reality Arts to share some of your work. Okay, so take care for now, and I will see you soon.